Tagad būs. All right, I think it's time to begin. Maybe mix a bit. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so much. I think so far so good. I want to start with a hello. How's everyone feeling after these whole 50 hours? Yeah, last we saw each other here 50 whole hours ago. That's more than 2 days. More than 2 whole days. I hope those 2 extra hours were useful and worth it, and they totally mattered. Generally, this is Jūlijas JAM, and for a first-time jam, at least so far, how has it been? How do you feel? I see a thumbs up. I see another. Oh my God, I see a lot of thumbs, and all of them are pointing upwards. That's awesome. That's actually really awesome to hear. But this jam isn't over. As you all know, I asked many of you to submit your game and a presentation. And I want to invite many of you to pitch your presentation in 3 minutes. And afterwards, all of your presentations consecutively, we want to also, those of interest, we will probably go up to you, playtest, ask some questions, have a more in-depth interview. Yeah, we kept tabs more or less throughout the jam. But now this is it. This is how we want to try playing the game for real. Though we do understand this was still 50 hours. We thought we were here with you, I think, throughout the whole jam. And that's why we're also just interested now, how is it? And yeah, who of you wants to present? Do you feel about presenting? Okay, still positive. Then a few things about presentations. When you present, if you want, you have the Google Slides. I have preloaded them. Though, if you want to present something from your laptop, then you would connect here through the HDMI port. Though, give us a notice if you want to do that. But generally, I have preloaded most of the presentations here already. Any other changes, please just kind of note. Though I will give you a mic, speak into the mic, because there are there are viewers who are there, who are through the stream watching us. And about our jury, there is some sort of maybe people who are interested, maybe giving a gift. And there's, of course, Jūlijas. Please raise your hands, Jūlijas. Oh my God, Jūlijas. Then there's also Latvian Gamedev Association representative. Remember, workshop? Oh my God, and and also from a workshop was actually an Accenture representative. And these jury will be also will be also afterwards coming up and playtesting as needed and as they want. So, who wants to go first? Present, of course. Oh, oh my God, Lime, come here. I need to know. Put in the right presentation. So.
Is it on the laptop? The name of... Okay. Oh yeah, you have to keep the tension up. No spoilers. How do you connect it to this thing? Okay, it seems like it's connecting. Yes, the buttons are here. Did you duplicate the screens, or are they 2 separate entities?
Technical. BRB maybe screen for the streamer. It is bigger correct
Give me a second. Didn't finish IT for nothing. Ja, viņš duplicē vienkārši tā vaina. Display settings. Do I get extra points for fixing this? Okay.
Fixed. Oh no.
Brave
I was also
this.
Yeah, the desktop's trash. Anyway, here we go. Thank you.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so today I'm about to present to you my game Pen Test, short for penetration test. So my inspiration, obviously, is the phrase that every hacker in a Hollywood movie says whenever they've hacked something. So, first off, Hollywood hackers. Alright, do I know any hacking games? Well, Watch Dogs is a bit too much for me, so I picked a small indie game called Hacknet. Those who are more into hacking games might already know this game. And I wanted to provide you the ultimate script kiddie experience. So this is the game Hacknet. This is not my game. This is the Hacknet. It's basically a terminal, and that's the whole game. It's a text-based game. So, the game I made, the backstory. You are a penetration tester with 30 years of experience at the age of 18. Every recruiter's dream. Your goal is to lose excess weight gained by sitting at the desk for 48 hours a day by providing physical penetration tests. Those of you who do not know, physical penetration tests are security tests for buildings. So for example, you have a building that needs to be secure. You want to make sure it's secure. You hire a guy, he breaks into the building, tells you how he broke in, and you fix those vulnerabilities. So, the main game mechanics. Obviously, avoid guards. There are guards walking around. They have a area of detection. Try to avoid those. Plant devices. So, that white box over there, it's a server, trust me. So, what you do is, you pick up a Raspberry Pi, which is a microcomputer. Let's say that via some movie magic, it can be immediately connected to your computer wherever you are. And once it's planted on the server, you can connect to the device and hack the server. So this is where the CLI comes in. So as you can see, LSDev, maybe you can't see, but list devices, you can see all the devices that you have planted, connected to a specific device. Nmap, those of you who know, it's a fingerprinting tool in real life. You find vulnerable protocols, and then you use MSF, or short for Metasploit framework, to hack it. And also, hacking isn't only about the goal, where you want to hack the server as the end of the level. You can also hack servers, camera servers, to disable cameras, as you can see right here. And another thing from physical penetration testing which I wanted to include is a Flipper Zero. Those of you who do not know, it's a wireless toolkit, so to speak, and it has a functionality to clone RFID badges. Some of you use like these kinds of badges next to doors to open those doors. Well, depending on the protocol, they can be cloned and used to open doors as well. So that is a thing I included in the game. Thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions? No questions? Okay, thank you. Oh, you have a question.
Then, like, if the whole thing is about hacking, then how do you there seems to you move around like physically there? Then there's like do gameplay loops where you try to kind of hack and do and also then walk around. How does that really integrate with each other?
So you have a laptop which has the CLI or command line interface or terminal, whatever you want to call it. And yes, I kind of tried to do a mashup of a stealth game where you have to sneak around, but also Hacknet where you have to use the command line to progress or hack things, so to say. Any more questions? Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. That was our first participant. Very nice, like team of one person, and starting off strong, I would say. Also, very, very precise. I don't think we even needed to show you the 1 minute. You were just very, very, very well constructed there. So, any other volunteers? Oh, let's go. So, eens uzlikt timer.
Hello, my name is Daniel and I will present the game Last Drop. The team. We were a 5-person team. One person responded with audio. I worked with programming, other ones with visual story writing, and our only team picture is together with one of amazing Jūlijas. I want to mention that all of us had zero experience with game development. None of us knew how to use game engines. First time drawing pixel arts and animations. How to choose the right idea? We tried many ways, even tarot readings, but in the end, democracy won. We decided to try to make a game about a little raindrop. The drop, aka Eve, has some basic movement abilities and a lot of animations. I will show some of the animations, and why the animations are an important part of this game. I will say that we spend the most of the time making animations, and all animations are handmade in these 50 hours, including sounds, and we used none of AI, only text font is taken from the ready fonts. The story is about raindrop that falls from rain, but because of unfortunate events, it don't get to land on the ground, but it gets on top of the roof. Later on in the game, this raindrop moves around, gets inside of the building, and gains abilities to eavesdrop and listen conversations or ability to watch cutscenes. In game, there is also visible text dialogue in this cutscene. How does it go together with the team I'm in? The goal of this Raindrop Eve is to get to the ocean and reconnect with the water cycle. That's what this raindrop wants, and in the way there will be many adventures, many things, and what we plan to do is to keep making this game even after this game jam. We have planned schedule even for at least 1 year of development. The idea I'm most excited is making many mini games that makes this game interesting, and also multiple endings which depend on what decisions players make. So the game is interesting even after you play it one time. Thank you for your attention, and any questions?
Woo, yeah, really nice. Itself, what is the movement throughout? You have amazing visuals, but what is the gameplay, the movement there? What is the game? As you said, the goal is to rain.
It's a side view to the platformer type of game where you move the raindrop, jump, dash, fall, interact with the objects. In this demo version only you can eavesdrop, which is listen. But yeah, basically it's a side view to the game. Any other questions?
How much is in the actual game right now? So I get that there's eavesdrop. Is there only a single eavesdrop event, or?
Yes, in the actual game there is only a single eavesdrop event. There are 2 cutscenes, 3 cutscenes if you include the title screen, and 1 tutorial level that is the mechanics and physics. There are possibilities that you can get stuck and something breaks, but in theory it is possible to finish this 1 level and get the final cutscene. Any last question? Seems no questions, so thank you for your attention.
All right, that was a really charming one. Any other ones? Who's next? Any raised hands? Oh, I see. Here you go. So, yeah.
Hello, hello, testing. Okay, so we made a game which will hopefully appear soon, Desktop Onslaught. So, the idea. We wanted to make something kind of like Vampire Survivors, a swarm game where you're defending something, enemies are coming all the time, and we decided that a good theme would be a virus attacking your computer, and you are the antivirus defending the system. And once we decided on that idea, we pretty much immediately began working on it. So.
Hello. Yeah, I worked on the assets and the programming. So at first, so that we don't work with just white blobs, I made some pixel art for the beginning, for the first day, as mostly we were focusing on making basic movement and basic functions. Didn't make much, and then later that day, when I got home and had a drawing tablet, then I was able to make some actual assets that were used in the final project. Yeah. First, we did some basic movement, some basic AI, and ended the first day with not so working bullets, with no reload time, no collisions, and no way to actually defeat enemies. But thought was there. And then later, we cleaned everything up, and now you can shoot bullets, kill enemies. Enemies spawn in waves that we customize, and enemies die and drop bits that you collect and then level up and gain upgrades from those level ups.
Well, my colleague very graciously said he actually did most of the programming and art, so big kudos to him. What I did was I came here with zero experience with an idea that I wanted to make an OST for a game. And I wanted to do the sound effects for the game. So that's basically what I did, because I have experience in making music and just working with sound design. So my first day went like this. I basically spent most of it in FL Studio by creating a track. We discussed what the theme should be, what the emotions should be, what we're trying to go for. And once that was done, on the second day, I actually tried coding something for the first time. I don't know if you can actually call it coding, but first time using a game engine, really. I did some, I put the sound effects in the right places, essentially, is what I was doing most of the second day. And in the end, I think it turned out very nice. I achieved my goal. It has the right theme, and I highly suggest you try our game. And here's a little intro teaser we didn't manage to put in. So what you start is you download some free RAM. Unfortunately, no free RAM is available, and now you have a virus. So now it's up to Jūlija Defense to defend your computer. So out now, played everywhere, I guess. Any questions?
In the game, is the computer background just like an image, or is it on your actual desktop?
So, yeah, at the first, when we have the Windows 11 background, that was just a screenshot from my PC. Now it's a custom-made image, but unfortunately, because it's played in the web browser, you can't actually get the data from the desktop to put it in as the actual background. So yeah, it's not that fancy.
Test. Yeah, I was wondering, just because, who drew the illustrations and so on? Oh, very cute, very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question. So how do you think how the game is moving further? So what do you, so basically what we see is the virus coming and I'm defeating, and there's just the levels, right? Levels up, and what's happening then? I'm leveling up.
Yeah, currently there is 10 minutes of waves, where each wave comes after a few seconds. Each wave is its own period of time that it takes. And then when you defeat the enemy, there's no windscreen, but just like any antivirus, the threat is never over. You're always on the lookout for the next threat. But yeah, currently after 10 minutes, the final enemies spawn, and when you defeat them, the game just continues.
So we actually had a ton of ideas, which we didn't really get to finish, because 50 hours is a very limited time. So if you're familiar with Vampire Survivors as a game, you level up by collecting XP from the dead enemies, and it's just continually you grow stronger and stronger and stronger in that one cycle of that gameplay loop. And the idea is you would have more upgrades, more enemies. It would just be a better experience overall. But the 50 hours is a harsh limit. So.
So if I understand correctly, 10 minutes I need to be super aware of my desktop, even though I think that all the viruses are killed.
Exactly. And you also want to play it for 10 minutes, because the song I made is like, the intensity rises, with each going minute. So you want to hear the end.
So there is no like a sudden appear for for example, I didn't saw any virus 1 minute, and then again it start appearing somewhere.
Well, they just they continuously spawn all the time, and just the waves become bigger and bigger. But since you're getting stronger and stronger, you can clear them faster and faster. And then it's just about what upgrades do you get. Sometimes you need to get lucky. Sometimes it's just you're just really good at the game. It depends.
So, thank you. So, who's next? Any willing souls? You present? Did you? Oh. Okay, we'll be there right now.
Hi. Okay, you can hear me? Can you hear me? I think you do. So if you remember, I did the workshop. I don't know if you do remember or not. So what I did basically, I just finished the workshop game. It took me like about 3 hours, or no, actually like 4-ish hours. I made a fancy title screen. I made the coins into sushi because that makes more sense. Yeah, and like that, this is the whole game. It like has 3 levels, I guess. And also this code, if you go into Discord help channel, it's available there. I think some version of it at least, so you can just open it, see the code, how I did it or not, just learn from it. Yeah, so it's like a whole game. It's meant to be like a starting point, maybe for you or someone else who wants to learn Godot. You can just build some levels and stuff. I have this QA tester there. She liked the sushi idea. Yeah, and so the future plans for this project is basically, I kind of want to finish it, make it more juicy, like make it more like a game. And the other thing is I kind of want to document the whole process, like what I did there, make a Notion file or something. For example, you can click on the player thing, and then you can see what's in the player and why I did it that way. Kind of like a learning document, basically. That's what I want to do. And maybe for future workshops use it. So that's it. These are the resources I used, and yeah, thank you.
I'm sorry, I keep forgetting. While I understand that you were actually a mentor and also a workshop presenter, how does I think still should ask you questions fairly, like any participant. How does this like represent the theme, Jūlijas JAM theme?
So it's in the name. I'm into sushi. That's it. Yeah, I couldn't really think how it represents the theme, so I just named it. Like the little guy is really into sushi. Yeah.
Okay, that was very nice of you. I think that's also so. This game was created during the workshop, so that's actually nice that it kind of got. It's also spotlight. I hope. Yeah, understandable. Like that workshop was just an hour, and within those 50 hours, also the other half was created. And that's how it's supposed to be. Who else wants to present? If there are no pickers, I will just name drop you. So are there really no other people who want to just come in here and present? Oh, I saw a quick flash of a hand. You come here.
This is close. Okay. So my name is Madre, and I'm used to organizing these kind of events, like Global Game Jam, by the way. So I usually don't take part of jams as often. That's why I'm really bad at game dev at all. So when I heard the theme 50 years ago, first thought was, that's what she said. Second thought was, oh, that reminds me like tag. Who has played here tag when they were kids in the park? Oh yeah, then you know the game. So basically, I decided to make a character who can be chased, and in the future, I hope I will make the other player chase it as well. Maybe make it a multiplayer game. I don't know much about Unity. I know much more about Blender, which isn't a lot. I had a couple friends who joined in the middle of the process and made some assets. For example, there was Jūlija, as in our helper, Jūlija. He didn't like to say his surname, so his name is Mark. And there was a jammer outside of Riga who jammed, named Ilvis Fallbaums. I hope I said it right, because I don't like to say other person's names that I haven't seen face to face. So yeah, I will stop rambling. I will show you the video. No sound. Okay. You basically run around. Those little stumps should be the safe spot where you can hide from your so-called enemies. The blue ones are enemies who chase you. But I didn't get that far. So basically you have running... okay, let's stop here. Yeah, so basically you have running simulator in 3D. So yeah, thank you. Any questions? Okay, if no questions, then I will like to remind you all. I'm part of Latvian Gamedev Association. I'm like organizer type person in there, and every year in Latvian Gamedev Association we have this contest called BRSD, Stop Talking and Start Doing. So every game here can be continued and contribute to that contest in next year's BRSD, which is going to be BRSD 2025. So, yeah. Have a nice day.
Thank you, thank you. Very charming. Those are really nice and fluid movements there. That's also awesome that this was a case where Jūlija spawned in and helped. And from last time we had this thing that nobody wanted to volunteer. So speaking of a Jūlija coming in and help, you team will be presenting next.
Okay, so we developed the game July Chase. It definitely wasn't named in the last like minute. So the concept of our game was fairly straightforward. Upon hearing the words "I'm in," it was more or less the same associations most people had, like, you know, a hacker breaking into a system or a robber breaking into a house, right? I'm in, right? The feeling of success of doing something mischievous, breaking into a system where you shouldn't be. And, well, we went for the latter of the two, for the breaking in as a robber part. So the idea of our game is that you're breaking into a house and stealing. We didn't want to have the whole game oriented just around the stealing, so well, we wanted to put more emphasis on the whole breaking in part, but we also knew that we were limited with our skills and our time, and we opted for putting the emphasis on the breaking in part in a sense of you can stay in for as long as you like, but the game just gets more difficult and difficult over time. So you can continue stealing at the risk of losing it all in a moment. So yeah. As it says here, the whole I'm in part is emphasized by, well, you're trying to stay in for as long as you can. We had created a scratch concept, which is probably the most refined part of our game. I can quickly show how that plays, if I can find it anymore. Right. Godot is difficult, I'll just say that. So yeah, the scratch concept, very simple. You move around, you try to collect the keys. I feel like we hit the whole emphasis on the I'm in part a lot better in the scratch concept, because here you have to collect the keys to make it out of there. So right, you've made it in, now try to get out. And well, if you're caught, you lose. If you collect all the keys, the door opens and you get to leave. Also, a quick little Easter egg, a Jūlija can be found in the door. Back to the presentation. Yes, as mentioned before, the game engine we decided to use was Godot. Reasoning was pretty simple. Unity has found itself to be quite problematic. Godot seems to be, well, quite popular recently. It's really growing quite quickly, and so we decided to just opt for the version that seems the most promising. This is the end of just the presentation, but where can we find the game? Right. As I mentioned before, the Scratch concept is about the most refined thing we have. Here in the Godot version, we didn't quite manage to properly import the enemy. It exists technically, it just cannot be found. We can run the project in Godot in some movie format where it for some miraculous reason appears, but yeah, that's not available on this computer, unfortunately. We can more or less show what it was supposed to be like. Yeah, this was the rough idea behind it all. Also, there was technically some intelligence to the enemy. It disappeared at some point when I was messing with vectors, so yes, thank you for your attention.
Okay, this was an interesting one, and because I wanted to ask, why did you start with Scratch, and how, and why the mid change? Like you said, you got it because Unity is better. Why did you even have to choose? So why Scratch, and why the change?
Well, Scratch, I just wanted to like create a very rough version of the game so I could understand if the idea is any good. Because technically we were thinking, okay, this sounds pretty fun, but we can't really know until we've tested it, and Scratch was the test. It took a while to make, but given that I have a bit of experience with Scratch, yeah, that was, again, the concept of the game, essentially. We just wanted to understand if maybe we need to change our ideas a bit.
I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
How did Jūlija get in your team?
Look, long story short, I am technically a teacher, and he technically, I guess, used to be my pupil. And, you know, just like, this is a small world. You don't get this. It's just somehow happened. I don't know. I didn't plan this.
Thank you. Or anybody else have questions? Thank you a lot. Those laptops. Okay. All right, thank you. This was this was a pretty nice one. I thought it was very funny. I actually should have asked probably why is there a bathroom as the main character in the Godot version, but the time has passed. So next, I'm inviting Singularity.
can't start with a thank you, I don't think. Okay.
And yeah, you can begin.
Wait 1 second. I think we'll go back to the start. That's where we'll begin with that. Okay. This is the title slide. We are Singularity. We are a team of high schoolers who actually had no idea of anything regarding game design before we came here. So this was kind of a challenge, and we are very intimidated right now. But we'll just kind of work with that further on. So here's us. Here's our roles in the team. This is the guy who made most of the coding happen, and the rest of us were just there for, I guess, scripting and visuals. Why scripting? You'll find out. So, introduction to the theme is, it's a sci-fi visual novel. It is single player, and it is dialogue driven. What is it about? We shall see. Okay. So, the concept of I'm in. You go through a black hole, you end up in a different dimension, and your objective, after ending up in an enemy ship, is to get out. So, it is a 5-day narrative. There's one main character, and there are 5 side characters. Regarding how we executed it, we started out with Inky for dialogue, so the Ink language, then Inkscape and Adobe Photoshop for visuals, and then C# for Unity, which turned out to be very problematic. So, ideas look like this. Graphics look somewhat like this. Whether we'll get to implement them someday, that is a different question. And then script is this, and code, which was and still is killing us, is something like that. We started out trying out kind of external functions in the Ink code, and then that didn't work, so we moved on to variables, and we definitely did not finish that. But yeah, the final, not final product is something like this. The text boxes work, which is a miracle, and at least you can get to the endings. So, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Questions?
So, I hope you hear me. And generally, I think this was a very pretty game. You kind of sped through all the visuals. Can you maybe go back to some of the slides?
I absolutely
Because you have a
can.
very visual, interesting game. Can you maybe tell me a bit about the inspiration and
Okay.
what's the thought process behind that?
So the visuals, that's what I did. And I started out with vectors since I'm most familiar in working with that sort of format. And I thought it would be good for scalability since you can use the same vector for both cutscenes and up-close scenes. And then for the backgrounds, I really like that kind of vintagey, grainy, almost 90s-ish film aesthetic. So that's what I did for just, you know, cutscenes as images and no moving sprites, nothing like that. Inspiration game-wise, I don't play video games much or even at all, so it's just whatever I happen to make. And regarding the whole concept, well, that goes to him. He's our sci-fi enthusiast. Okay, I can pass the mic, yeah, if you want to comment.
There's not much to comment. However, yeah, our code is definitely the weakest link in our whole chain. That's fully on me. I don't have much. I don't have any experience in game design. I've done other coding somewhat, but we just wanted to focus on the creative skills of the whole process, and yeah.
If I may, my computer is nearly dead because of this project, so I would say it's worth it, but you know, it came at a cost.
I guess my last question is then how far from the, so it's mostly a visual novel where you go through, is there any other kind of game loop or game, or it's just the story and the visuals to it? Is there something more to it?
I would say, well, I do not know how this would count in the game rule, but it is mostly just story and visuals, so you have 9 endings which you can get to like from the dialogue branching, and that is about it since, yeah, I have no idea how to make anything else happen right now.
That's totally cool. That gives me a reason that there's decisions and choices that you kind of click.
Yeah.
And yeah. Okay,
That's right.
Very, very cool. Any other questions? Then yeah, thank you a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
So maybe somebody wants to voluntarily come here, or should I still play the little bit of what? Oh, I see. Oh my gosh, I saw raised hands. Let's go.
Live? So yeah, we are live. Hello. I am maybe not here alone, but I am not alone. I had two other teammates one who did the art, the other did. In the end, basically, it all developed only into emotional support. But we were three people, and I'm the only one brave enough to come here. So we made a game that was apparently titled Erico the Party Crasher, and sure, not maybe the exact name I would have wanted to call it, but well, what can you do when you are the programmer? Nothing. So our initial ideas for the Game Jam game was, number one, a Street Fighter clone where an intern fights to a CrowdStrike server. We thought this would be too complicated. We should have picked that. Second was a fight game including recognizable characters and celebrities. Again, we thought this would be hard. We should have thought again. And our third idea was a fairy tale party. Or some kind of theme of it. Possibly including attending a party, trying to get into a party, which was the idea that we settled on, and really, we should have picked something else. But in any case, what we settled on was the player is a lonely character that wants to get inside of a party and potentially crash it, or ruin it, or just enjoy himself. Who knows? And yes, these are our art assets. All of them are in-game. Maybe not the color ones, but all of them are in-game. You can technically see all of them. Yeah, how it looks. A basic scene. Not with the device detected, however. Basically, there's a scene. There are these people roaming around, and currently you can only use the game as a screensaver because there is no actual game loop, unfortunately. The idea would be the player is observing all the people that are walking around and seeing the responses of the... Are you going to know? Okay, I can at least, if you will allow, maybe... Just... Okay, so yeah, basically, the game loop, guys like these walk around and interact with the boss. The boss says whether their outfit is good or not. In most cases, there are not. 5 minutes will pass, and you will not see a single check mark. Then suddenly a check mark appears, and you are supposed to guess what the theme is from that one, or maybe a second one that comes in 5 seconds later. Then you were meant to go to a pawn shop to gather clothes, but we sadly only got the UI for it, but no interaction. Yes, there's nothing else for me to add, unfortunately. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Was the loading of the things you wanted to show the game itself, or how it's?
Yes, I had hoped to at least show off this scene with people moving, but considering it seems my USB was completely broke, and it did not work.
Yeah, that's
So-
totally fine. Remember, we will also playtest some of the games after the presentation, so don't worry about it.
Sure, but I wanted to show the internet because the internet sure as shit isn't gonna play it.
Go now. It's totally gonna be fun.
Any other questions, or may I return to my seat?
So I have a question. So basically, game ends when you enter the building.
No, we actually had planned like 3 stages where one is like pattern recognition of what is the theme of the outfits. The second would be trying to figure out what the personality of people that are coming in, like are they smart, are they preppy, are they just some kind of themed like basketball players throwing a crazy rage or stuff like that. And the third one would be just suddenly a quiz type of thing from snippets of conversations that you had heard from throughout interacting throughout the game loop.
Thank you. Oh, don't forget your USB. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, please change screen. Thank you. So, I believe it's time for the next team. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? It's gonna be Dino Thunder. Dino Thunder, please come here.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Sanidhya, and currently I'm very nervous. This is my first time presenting, and also first time developing a game as well. So we just came here and we didn't know anything about the game development, but somehow we did something. So here is our game. We name it Dino Thunder, and how we came to it, it's like first we tried to connect to LU Wi-Fi, and it was not working for us. So this thing came, and then we just start playing it because we don't know how to connect to the Wi-Fi first. And yeah, after it, like we know that we found out that this is an open source Chromium code. So we got like we searched around and we found a code, and we were able to do something with this. But it seemed little off. And what we did something this. We tried to make a 3D dino and make a better background and have some effects and graphics just by searching in Google and also ChatGPT. So we are presenting you the Dino Thunder. Although dinosaurs look little bit odd, but I think it's kind of cute. So this is our gameplay. Okay, it's not. It's okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry for that. That's my mistake. Yeah.
So but we'll try it later.
Yeah.
And generally, gonna present more. Then questions later.
So here is a famous dinosaur code. So yeah. And the team that we developed with, this is me, a dino, and this is my another teammate who's sitting there. And our best teammates that helped us a lot is Google and ChatGPT. And thank you all. You can also scan a QR and you will be able to play the game. Although it's running on ichi.io, so yeah. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yes, I have a question. How does this, was this supposed to, or how is it supposed to mesh with the theme of this game jam?
This is like when you have nothing on your PC and there is no Wi-Fi, what you will do? You will just play the Dino game. So that's how you are into the Dino game.
Then any other questions? Oh.
Okay.
No, you on this computer.
Okay, yeah, just give me a moment.
New tab.
Submissions.
New tab, and you just type in this URL. You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hold this? Here. So this is going to download a video with your game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually this was our gameplay. And thank you all.
Okay, thank you. What this was very cool. If you ever want to download stuff on this PC, please give like a bit of warning, so that we can do this before, so that there's less technical difficulties. But because of it, I will now quickly move on next and call out I'm a peanut butter.
Hello, today I'm presenting our game. I'm a peanut butter. So our original design was to make a 5-stage level with each of their unique and different designs, and the fridge being a cold level, the cupboards being a darker level, and the stove being everything's on fire. So generally we had bigger ideas, and it unfortunately was too bit of short time, but we still ended up with 2 enjoyable levels. The objective of the game is to reach your partner, Jello, to make a peanut butter and Jello sandwich. And yeah, I'd say this game is very, very enjoyable. You cannot die in here, so it's stress-free. And yeah, we generally liked making the game, except when the deadline started approaching, it started to get a little bit more stressful, but we still ended up enjoying it. Here is some general in-game photos we took. Yeah, there's a peanut and the goo you usually shoot to make a double jump. here also we quickly made a presentation of what each level would have had. A ground level having just tiles and stuff. Fridge being obviously a frozen level, has its own railings and stuff. Stove being on fire and obviously where you put your pot on. Cupboard is usually darker, so you'd be a light bulb, zebra, and shelf being your final objective, you being a peanut butter in a jar. This is our general job split. I made some art, sound effects, and helped design the levels, and Akli made he made most of the code. Actually, made all of the code. I didn't help anything. And yeah, he made music, made some sound effects as well. He mostly did all the story, the ideas of the story, and he also did most of the level design. Yeah, thank you.
Hello. How did you make all the pixel art? What kind of tools did you use? Because that's very good pixel art.
Yeah, we used an application called Sprite. It's pretty good. I'd suggest if anyone is trying to use pixel art. I enjoyed it. It's pretty user friendly. Yeah.
So you said it's stress-free, so that means also there is like no time limit or something like that. I'm just jamming around, like just.
I was a little bit being sarcastic on that. There's no time that you can't actually die, but it is meant to be hard, like a hard platformer. So, like, the ground and other elements are a little bit kind of against you.
Then thank you. Thank you. Very, very cute. Very jammy. Very inspired by jam. So, I will now be inviting the next team. And those will be in limited.
So yeah, hello everyone. I'm Alex. I'm not really a game dev. At least I wasn't before this event. I'm actually more like a product designer or 3D designer, specifically in Minecraft style or Terraria or something else. And this is Martin, my teammate and co-worker.
Hello everyone. My name is Martin Werner. I'm a Python, C++, and Java developer. I have quite a lot of experience in programming. Especially, I'm interested in developing Discord bots, writing software, and Minecraft plugins. I also have an experience with creating simple 2D games, not 3D.
So a few days ago, my friend Martin sent me this link to this event, and at first I thought this was a joke, but I agreed, and even before the topic of this event was announced, I started to think of the game. Next one, please. And now we are presenting to you our game in Limited. We haven't really decided on a name yet. This is a low-poly pixelated horror game in 3D. You spawn in an abandoned shopping mall. You don't remember why are you there and where are you. And for some reason, exit is there's no exit. It's just a brick wall. Next one. Yes, this one, brick wall. And the main idea was to create a survival horror when you have to escape this place to solve some quizzes and puzzles, and sometimes to creep you with some scary places and scary entities.
Both of us didn't have any experience in creating 3D games in any of available 3D engines. For creating models and textures, we use Blockbench in Photoshop. The game itself was created with Unreal Engine 5.
And these are some screenshots from the development of the game and from the game itself. This is, sorry. This one is my professional art. These are 3.5 special creatures from our game. One is not really dangerous, it just will scare you. It's like just creepy. The second one will randomly spawn on the map, and you should be very quiet because it will hear your steps and anything you do, and will try to kill you. And the third one is another one that you should listen and not be near of it. Yes, that's all. Thank you.
I wanted to ask, why Unreal 5? Why Unreal for a low poly kind of pixel 3D game?
I actually didn't really mention it, but we did low poly pixelated game not because we are lazy to draw real textures, but because we really think that pixelated games are kind of beautiful. For example, last popular game like Lethal Company or Content Warning, they're all in low poly mode. And Unreal Engine 5 because we wanted to try like a challenge to make a 3D game with no experience at all.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So, the next person I'm inviting is the creator of Hack versus Hack. Your own? Okay.
Just a second. Gotta fix it. Inservento operativo. All right, refresh. Fucking video. It's good. Is it good? All right. All right, a bit of technical difficulty because Google Drive. So I created a Hack versus Hack. It's a solo project. We needed to introduce ourselves. So I work as a dev doing ML. I do web dev on the side. I do game dev for fun, mainly Unity. Some games I've made in other game jams before on the right. Yeah, and I use Arch. So Hack vs. Hack is a 1 versus 1 multiplayer game where you test your programming and strategy skills against an opponent by solving coding challenges. I'm going to be ashamed about using my phone for notes because I haven't slept. The game takes inspiration from an attack defense CTF. You can go on the offensive and do attack challenges, or be defensive and do defense challenges, with well, the lore goal being of hacking into the opponent while not getting hacked yourself. The connection to the theme, of course, is the classic Hollywood trope that yeah, I'm in, being, you know, a hacking thing. To win, you need to complete 10 attack challenges before your opponent does, but by doing defense challenges, you make the opponent get harder challenges. Doing a defense challenge also has a chance of giving you 1 of 4 power-ups, but can either, for example, swap your attack challenge or do a funny thing like preventing your opponent from seeing their code or changing a random character. So I should, if the video is fixed, yeah. I have a demo. The game's fully functional. So here's the main menu, how to play. We have options. We can join the lobby because it's multiplayer. I have a server running on Google Cloud. You enter the lobby name of your choice. You select your player name. We have a classy background. You can see your own and opponent's code field, so you can see what they're doing, but you don't know which challenge they're going for. So you have to kind of predict that and read their code. You have the available power-ups on the bottom left, and you write in Python in a custom and slightly buggy text editor, but it works mostly. You can do either the attack or defense challenge, and you don't have to specify which one. We have some fancy particle effects, which show that you are attacking the enemy. We have health bars and defense bars in the middle, and now I just did a defense challenge, which raised my defense and gave me a power-up, which I used on the bottom left. This power-up specifically raised my defense by 3 for 10 seconds. And the defense value basically determines how hard the challenges are for your opponent. So you have to balance out attacking and defending. So it's available for download. My final message, goodbye.
So if I understand correctly, so you don't see your opponent's code, right?
You do see your opponent's code, but you don't specifically know which challenges they're going for. So they can either attack you or defend themselves. Well, you have to read the code to understand what they're doing.
Okay,
That's
so
the
the right side window will be like full of some other code which you will see, right? So
Yeah,
it will not be like just empty and you see only your code.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So
Good.
your code is on the left,
Yeah.
the opponent's code is on the right.
Great.
But yeah, there are power-ups. Yeah, do funny things.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yep.
So this runs Python. This evaluates Python internally, right?
Yeah.
What happens if I try to shut down the other person's operating system?
Well, as it is implemented right now, it runs Python locally on your device.
Okay. So there's no protection. I will.
Well, you can do whatever you could do by writing just a local script and running it. But you can't harm the other player right now. Like,
Okay.
I considered it, which would be funny. But yeah, no, it was just easier to implement like this.
Okay, gotcha.
By connecting to the server, it could be truly in somebody's PC.
Exactly. Remote code execution.
But yes, then I think that awesome. Thank you. Thank you. If there's any more questions? Oh, was there? Okay, then yeah, thank you. And also, I believe then there's a server running and anybody can still kind of connect. Wait, I saw a question there. Was there a raised hand? Oh, then let me quickly.
Yep.
How did you choose a name for your lobby?
Well, I'm sorry, what? Can you?
How did you choose a name for your lobby in the game?
Oh, how did I choose a name?
Yes,
I mean, yeah, it's hack versus hack, like a game cheating thing. It's inspired by that. Yeah. What?
For the lobby.
For the lobby. I mean, oh. I mean, Sussy Bucket doesn't need any explanation.
Thank you. Okay, I'll be now inviting the next team, which is I'm sorry, because it's like a mixed order. It's for me hard to kind of to understand which we've already had. I believe Jūlija just like I know that. You people you should be coming with. I think I'm just gonna do the simple thing. You come here. So we were having some last technical difficulties, but this will be the last team presenting. And again, I remind every team for you to go back to your stations after this presentation, and then Jūlijas will come to you and play test your games, and then you can also ask, maybe correct some other little tidbits and such. Again, so I believe is this already? Oh, where's internet? Maybe the Dino game will help. So, yep, just a moment.
So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We will now present our game. We will start with small introduction.
My name is, okay, not my real name, but this is our username, Prince of Pickles.
And your experience?
As a game developer, I have exactly 0 experience. My closest thing to game experience is probably playing games. That's it.
Okay, I'm Fulcrum. I have programming background, but I'm new to game development as well. It's my first time.
My name is Coco, and well, so to say, similar to Pickles, I have not had any real game experience except for one jam that I don't really remember, but I remember writing some lines of code, but it's similar to this jam. It's not that I understood most of it, but yeah, eager to learn, and we'll see how it goes in the future.
This is also my first jam. I have a bit of experience since I have tried to program my game for like 3 years, but it was like more 5 attempts beginning from the start. As well as that, I am a beginner artist who also tried to do some art for this game.
Okay, so... No. No.
Died on us. God. What the hell is going?
Okay, sorry for technical difficulties. So yeah, we start with our main menu screen when you are greeted with our main character Alejandro. However, Alejandro is not your average Paul. Actually, he has some skeletons in his closet, right? So we thought about breaking in, and so I'm in as the typical phrase of breaking in. So yeah.
Okay, so this is our level design. We designed 3 levels. The first one, each one of different difficulty. The first one is like a wooden house. It is also kind of abandoned, so you can see there are holes in the floor. There are nothing much. There are one of the documents that we need to steal. Like each of the level has some documents that we need to steal. We need to reach that goal and then go back to the start, to where we enter the building. The second level is factory, so there are those robots, and the third one is Amazon warehouse, also equipped with robots and cameras.
Yeah. So in order to make this game less about going from A to B and to add some difficulty, we added some mechanics. Two of the mechanics we added were essentially just cameras and robots. And this is one of the mechanics we tried to develop with lockpicking, but it kind of failed, so it just is there iffy, a little bit, something of it.
As the last tidbit of the game lore, we intended to the title to mean 2 things, as in our main character is stuck in this relationship where he has to steal documents, but at the same time he is constantly screwed over by the anonymous group, which in the end we intended to end the game with the group betraying our main character and killing him off in a fire. But that did not happen because yeah, it only partly happened. In one sentence about our art style, it is a mix of pixel art and hand-drawn art, where our main character and some of the UI elements are pixel art, while most of the other parts of the game are in hand-drawn.
So thank you. Are maybe any other questions here? So I wanted to ask the lockpicking mechanic. What's it supposed to be? You said it's something. Then what is it?
Okay, so I suppose to shortly tell about, there's this yellow thing that is visible in one of the bars. It was supposed to be rotating, and it was supposed to like detect if whenever a player does, for example, press spacebar, if it was on one of the bars, and thus picking the lock step by step. There were some technical difficulties, and towards the deadline, we had to scrap that idea, unfortunately.
So then I believe that's a thank you. A very, maybe a bit of a spoiler tragic to the game, but thank you very much. This was very nice, and I believe now this was, we are going an hour now long, and I believe this is where we're gonna now kind of end the stream, and we're gonna come back later with the award ceremony. Though that will only be in like 40 minutes about, because right now in the meantime we are gonna go around and play test the game. So we hope for all of the participants here, stay on the first floor and find a spot where Jūlijas and our other guests will find you and play and enjoy some of your games. Though we do, of course, please ask you to return after the 40 minutes because of the award ceremony and also for pictures. So yeah, right now, free, take your spot. The presentation is over. You can now kind of relax. Now we will activate. Jūlijas, go.